A pleasure to meet y'all at last. Now, here we are. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome to Why Is That? The trailer brought you here, and now it's September 15th, and we're here now, as the trailer promised us. September 15th would be the very beginning, and here we are now. September 15th of 2018. It is today. And to start off, I don't know why another series had to come in mind with me since I first started thinking about what to do to create content, provide content for the community, for everybody to watch. But the main bias is that now we're here. This is another series that I just started, so let's get going. There's actually a lot of questions out there that were suggested by commenters in the form of a why is that sort of question. At some point back then, I suggested to everybody that if they wanted to submit any questions to me, they'd have to start with why is that, and then give me their suggestion as a question of some sort about me. Any questions can be about me, really. It can be about my personal life, it can be about my childhood, it can be about my career, it can be about anything, really. It could. There's just so many questions out there people would end up asking me at some point that I may feel overwhelmed at some point, but right now this is the very start to a series like this, of which I get to answer questions in a lively sort of manner. To start off, we got ourselves a question from a few YouTubers out there, as well as a few Twitter users, and they all said, and they all asked me something about Samson the pug and his teeth. They all asked, why is that Samson has such ridiculous looking teeth? And that of which goes back to my What the Fluff video, of which that I created as a participation ticket to the What the Fluff challenge. In that part you can see Samson in there with his teeth sticking out some sort of an underbite, with his fangs pointing upwards. But that of which was something he had just after birth, although we didn't necessarily see it until about a few months after we brought him home. Because as it turns out, Samson is one of those pugs that can have a bit of a deformity in his oral area. An oral deficiency, that of which can alter his teeth for the rest of his life, really. Because since a few months after we adopted him, me and my family had adopted him back in around mid to late 2007, and he was just a newborn at the time. His birthday was on June 27 of 2007. His birthday was on June 25th of 2007, and today he is an 11-year-old pug who is actually doing real well, actually, though a few other deficiencies he has other than orally is probably his hearing and his vision. His smell is pretty much one of the only big parts of him that can really help him navigate the area around him, because his vision and his hearing are badly wearing off by the minute, by the year, by the month, really. They've just been going down as he's gotten older in his lifetime. However, though, that's not really a big problem, because he's been the best pug that we have seen by far. He's been a pretty big session for people on Twitter. A lot of people have seen him on the What the Fluff challenge, along with Choo Choo the Yorkie, of which he was also featured in the What the Fluff challenge, as well as some other various sorts, including Vine. He became a pretty big sensation on Vine, with plenty of Vines that I have made in 2016 and 2017, just before the app shut down for good, with plenty of loops staggering around each Vine that he was part of. However, though, Choo Choo's not really the main subject, so let's just go ahead and push on forward with Samson. Samson, however, is one of the only pugs out there who not only gets himself a larger jaw set, that of which causes an underbite to stick out of his mouth, but he also has a larger statue, in contrast to most other pugs, of which they have a statue that is less than 2 feet. He is almost exactly 2 feet in height. And in length, though, he is about 3 feet 6 inches. 3.5 feet in length. In length, though, he is 2 feet and 1 inch, which is still a bit larger than some other pugs. But this is because he's one of those pugs that has a bit of a genetic altercation that also causes his size to go up a bit. Just like most of us when we have sizes that are above average, 6'7" and upwards. We have seen some people go beyond that range even. Aside from all that though, Samson and his genetic deformities and genetic alterations haven't really stopped him from being one of the best pugs we've ever had in our lifetime. I, for one, have really adored him so much over these years. 2007 was, in fact, when my family moved to another house. And so on the same year that they moved to a new house, they adopted a pug. That was quite a big year for them. But as of now, I have not entirely found out if Samson is going to, in fact, make it too much longer, because even though he's only 11, which is still below average of how life expectancy is for most pug breeds, I still have a lot of considerations and a lot of concerns based on Samson's overall health, because he also tends to chow down more than other pugs would. Lots of pugs would also become sort of a picky kind of attitude. Whereas Samson, though, is just not, well, he's not really as controllable as some other pugs and even some other dog breeds out there like the Jack Russell Terrier would. He is, however, a pretty big gobbler. He is almost a food addict. Kind of like my uncle's pug, except, well, his pug is more of the addict than Samson is. Samson's, well, he's more than 30 pounds in weight. At one point, I held him in my arms and stood on a scale, and I found out he was 32 pounds even. 32 pounds even. And this is due to the fact that I weighed myself before I held Samson in my arms and stood on the scale. When I just took the weight from me and Samson and I subtracted down from my own weight, then that was how I was able to find out Samson's overall weight, which was 32 pounds. Except that happened a few years back. I don't know if I could do it again to find out if it changed or not, but I guess it all depends, really. Yeah, Samson and Choo Choo, though, since Choo Choo was adopted November of 2016, November 6th of 2016, that was the exact date that Choo Choo was adopted. He and Samson at first had a bit of a strenuous relationship, and it was not too long before they eventually got used to each other, and they just stopped with the fighting. That was really the biggest overall struggle that some of us had with Choo Choo and Samson. Choo Choo, however, well, he's only 2 right now. Samson's 11, so that's a 9-year difference between the two. 2007 and 2016. Those were their birth dates. Birth years, really. Hence, I would want to really get into the fact that Samson has still been a great dog and a great friend for many out there. If you haven't already noticed, though, he does have himself a bit of a sketchy sort of look on him in the What the Fluff Challenge. And I'll put the link to my video on that in the description box below, so this way you can see him as well as Choo Choo being a part of the challenge. And I don't know, I guess it was a bit of a fun endeavor, but overall it didn't exactly go super well. Samson and Choo Choo's reactions were sort of mixed, and they were sort of just out of touch with what most dogs' reactions were in the What the Fluff Challenges sequence. After the blanket was thrown and the owner disappeared, they'd just go crazy usually. But Samson just sat there like he didn't see anything happen, and Choo Choo just ran away. I know I shouldn't just point out spoilers like that, but that was just that was sort of a fun project, but I cannot ultimately say that they enjoyed it all too well. I should also point out that Samson is starting to have some leg issues in terms of when he's walking. There's also this point where every time something or someone nudges his bed, he ends up getting up super quickly, almost as if something has spooked him. Nudging his bed, though, is not really spooking him. Probably blasting an air horn at him would be, but just nudging his bed, no. He shouldn't get up that quickly because, well, he shouldn't feel spooked that he only got nudged in the bed. I mean, why would dogs act like that whenever their bed gets nudged? They just get up so quickly as if something has spooked them. They just get up super quickly like that. If you have any part in time in which that you had a dog get up super quickly because an object or even you have touched their bed even the slightest bit, and they just got up super quickly, then you can go ahead and explain to me in the comments section below, and then you can go ahead and tell me your story of something like this in the comment section. You can go ahead and tell me in the comment section below of your story. You can go ahead and tell me your story about that in the comment section below, and explain to me what happened there and which one of your dogs, or if it's just one dog, then just don't say it. You can go ahead and tell me your story in the comment section below and explain to me what happened then. But other than that, though, I really don't see much else that there's going to be more, because there are still lots of questions to answer at this point. So I'm not exactly fully entitled or inclined, if you will, to really just keep on going with this question, because there's still lots more to answer at this point. And on top of that, though, there also needs to be why is that questions. They don't need to be why, who, what, where, when, or how type questions. They need to start with the two words whys and that. Whys as in WHY''S. So this way, it can guarantee me towards this series, which is specifically called Why Is That, to answer people's questions on that particular sort of subject. Why Is That is the subject, and whatever else that follows it is the predicate of the whole question itself. So if you put your answers, or well, they're just questions. So if you put your questions down in the form of a why is that sort of question, go to the comment section below, or you can tweet me on my Twitter, which is @KaijuForceNeo. So this way I can make an episode about it, and you may get a shout out about it in the form of a screenshot being pasted on my video, like this one here, which was just about the question I was going over right now. You could get more subscribers and more viewership onto your channel, and people would acknowledge that you did such great work giving me a question to answer. But for now, though, this question was a bit of a mix-up between both of the dogs that I got in my lifetime right now, Samson and Choo Choo. But anyways, though, that was a great questions still. Thank you so much for everybody out there who tweeted me or commented to me a question of their sorts related to that topic. And of course, if you want to see more about me with questions like this, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.